Next topic, we have the seven continents of the world and the forms of governments. So the different forms of governments are included in the study of comparative models in policing because the type of government of a country directly affects its law enforcement or its policing system. The widely recognized all the seven continents are listed by size below from biggest to smallest. We have Asia. Asia includes 50 countries and it is the most populated continent. It has 60% of the total population of the earth live here. Africa comprises of 50 countries. It is the hottest continent and home of the world's largest desert, the Sahara Desert, occupying 25% of the total area of Africa. North America includes 23 countries led by the USA as the largest economy in the world. South America comprises of 12 countries. It is located in the largest forest, the Amazon rainforest, which covers 30% of the South America total area. Antarctica is the coldest continent in the world, completely covered with ice. There are no permanent inhabitants except of scientists maintaining research station in this particular place. Europe comprises of 51 countries. It is the most developed economically continent with the European Union as the biggest economic and political union in the world. Australia includes 14 countries. It is the least populated continent after Antarctica. Only 0.2% of the total Earth population live here. Anarchy is a form of government wherein there is no existing leader or there's no government at all. So it is a situation where there is no uh, leader. And this can happen after a civil war in a country when a government has been destroyed and rival groups are fighting to take its place. Anarchists are people who believe that government is a bad thing, in that it stops people organizing their own lives. Aristocracy refers to a form of government in which wealthy nobles are given power over those in lower socioeconomic strata, which means that those rich only have the power and they have the position as leaders. Okay, most especially those rich people who are prominent. Okay, they have high education. Okay, they are known to the public by their family. So the aristocracy promotes an inherent class system that connects wealth, okay, and ethnicity with both the ability and right to rule. Bureaucracy is a government organization usually staffed with officials selected on the basis of experience and expertise that implement a public policy. Hierarchical organization, okay, is based into specialized staffs. So since the basis is the expertise of those who will work in each channel or its units or division, so their basis is the specialization. Free of political accountability or non-partisanship, but they are still affected by congressional budget and oversight. Capitalism is the idea that everyone has to make their own money, and what you earn should be yours. It is the economic system where anyone can start their own business for personal profit. It is when people try to get as much personal profit as possible to keep just for themselves. One of the famous examples of capitalism is Donald Trump. He purchases property, then waits for the price to go up before selling it. So by then, or with that particular time, okay, he can sell the property as a high or with as much higher cost. By doing this, he is taking advantage of the free market system, which allows someone to demand something for a low price, then sell it for a higher cost later on. Colonialism is when foreign states or countries control territories and people, whether accompanied by permanent settlement or settler colonies or not. So colonialism entails political control, or in other words, okay, it is where a certain country seek to extend its sovereignty or its territory. Communism is a form of government where the government owns and controls all things. All citizens are considered equal, using a common ownership structure that intends to eliminate the needs for money and economic classes. Everyone has the exact same amount as everyone else. The five communist countries of the world, we have Cuba, North Korea, Vietnam, China, and Laos. Democracy means rule by the people. It ensures that every citizen takes part in the decision making process, either directly or indirectly through the elected representatives. Federalism is a form of government that both combines and divides powers between a centralized federal authority and an array of regional and local authorities. Feudalism is a highly decentralized form of government that stresses alliances of mutual protection between monarchs and nobles with varying degrees of power. So it was based on giving land to nobles in exchange for loyalty and military aid. So this particular form of government, okay, is based on political ties between lords and other lords. Kleptocracy, a government with corrupt rulers who use their power to exploit the people and natural resources of their own territory in order to extend their personal wealth and political power. Meritocracy is a system of government or administration wherein appointments are made and responsibilities are assigned to individuals based upon their merits, namely intelligence, credentials, and education determined through evaluations or examinations. Military dictatorship, or also known as a military junta, is a form of government different from civilian dictatorship for a number of reasons. Their motivations for seizing power, their institutions through which they organize their rule, and the ways in which they leave power. Monarchy is a system of government where people belongs to a ruling family. Power is obtained by heredity or is what we call a birthright. Power is justified by divine right or God has given this family the authority to rule. Monarchs are often called king or queen, emperor, or empress. Oligarchy is a rule or government which is held by a small portion of populace. It is controlled by a few powerful family, and people have little or no rights or power. Plutocracy, from the Greek word plutus meaning wealth and kratos meaning power, dominion, or rule. Plutarchy is the other term. It is a form of oligarchy and defines a society ruled or controlled by the small minority of the wealthiest citizens. Republicanism is a form of government in which people elect representatives to make and carry out laws. The Constitution states that citizens elect members of Congress, and it also guarantees each state a republican form of government. Under socialism, the government owns the means of production and operates them for the benefits of all, rich or poor. So wanted to do away with profit motive and competition. Everyone had the right to share in the profits. Theocracy is a government run by religious leaders. Like monarchy, a theocracy is an old form of government. The government claims to be directed by God or divinely blessed. There is no separation of church and state. Oftentimes, citizens of other faiths are excluded or expelled. Totalitarianism is a form of government that controls every aspect of life, which means there's no privacy or independent organizations. No political system or the political system dominates the religion, family, or the family life, economy, and education. Tribalism refers to a form of governance in which there is an absence of central authority and where instead various religious or regional tribes lay claim to different territories, resources, or domains. We also have the top 10 countries with the highest crime rate. We have number one, Venezuela. It is the country with the highest crime index of 84.36% in the world. So common crimes includes homicide, armed robberies, and kidnapping. So these are at their peak. There are plenty of reasons behind criminal activities like a flawed judicial system, political corruption, economic hardships, and poverty. The United States has issued a level 4 travel advisory for the country. If we say a level 4 travel advisory, it is the strongest warning and means not to travel there due to extreme danger. Number 2, we have Papua New Guinea. It's the second most violent country with an 80.04 crime index. All types of violent crimes like murders, rape, kidnapping, armed robberies take place here on daily basis. So rascal gangs are behind all the small and large scale criminal activities in the country. In addition, the geography or the geographical location of this country makes it a very attractive place for human and drug trafficking. The violence is happening because of poor quality education, unemployment, poor judicial system, corrupt law enforcement agencies, and of course, traveling late at night and alone can be very dangerous in this particular country. Number three, South Africa. It is another country with a high violent crime rate. It is even a risk to live in the capital of the country, Cape Town. The country has the highest rate. Example is in every 100,000 people, 132.4 incidents belongs to rape or rape cases. That's why it is considered as the rape capital of the world. According to South African Medical Research Council, 1 out of 4 men admitted to committing rape. So South Africa is one of the most dangerous countries for women to live, and they should take special precautions. Apart from rape, okay, burglary, assaults, homicide, and other violent crimes are also notably high in the country. Number four, we have Honduras. Honduras is a famous country for many criminal activities. It has a 76.65 crime index. Different gangs like Mara Salvatrucha and Barrio 18 are highly prevalent in the country. The country provides various drugs or drug routes to the United States. Honduras has become an easy point of entry for illegal drugs or drug trade due to weak domestic law and enforcement, according to U.S. Department of State. Number five, Afghanistan is another country with the high crime rates. The country is facing almost all types of criminal activity. Crimes that occur in Afghanistan includes contract killings, assassination, drug trafficking, human trafficking, money laundering, and corruption. So, Afghanistan is not a safe country to visit due to war, armed conflict, terrorism, and civil unrest. Brazil is one of the top 20 countries with regards to the highest homicide rates. Most of the crimes that take place are violent or organized crimes. So the country is severely suffering due to collision of different gangs, drug trafficking, rape, corruption, and murder are pervasive issues in Brazil. Number 7, Guyana. The murder rate in Guyana is 68.15, which is almost 4 times higher than that of the United States. So weapons are easily accessible to criminals, plus the country has poor law and order. So the armed robbers wander openly and assault people at gunpoint. Even tourists are not safe from hotel break-ins, assault, and robberies. Number 8, Trinidad and Tobago is another country to avoid, especially without the protection of an armored vehicle. Gang violence, drugs abuse, sexual assault, human trafficking, kidnapping, theft, and other violent crimes are common in the country. So, although the country is not dangerous as the previous countries, Syria is another country with high crime rate due to a continuous war. Property and violent crimes occur in this country on a large scale. Due to an ongoing civil war in the country and involvement from the world's powers, the situation has escalated to a life-threatening level to anyone in the country. Due to the war, the country is also experiencing widespread war crimes, the collision between the pre-Syrian army and other rebel groups. So they takes place frequently. So bloodshed, robbery, carjacking, and other violent crimes are at their peak. Syria is a war-affected country and war hasn't ended. And number 10, El Salvador. Violent crimes at a large scale make the country one of the dangerous in the world. There are two gangs, the MS-13 and the Barrio 18, behind this violence. There are around 25,000 gang members between two gangs, and an addition of 9,000 gang members are currently in prison. These gangs have dispute over territory with other gangs, and the members of both gangs keep fighting with each other in these disputed areas. Unfortunately, these gangs are getting popular among youngsters. We also have the countries with the lowest crime rate, or the five safest countries in the world. Number one, we have Iceland. It's a country with only 340,000 population. and it is the safest country on this planet according to the Global Peace Index. The country has a very low crime rate index or crime index, highly trained security and law enforcement agencies. The citizens of Iceland have strong social attitudes against all types of crimes. The country offers religious freedom, equal rights to both men and women, and equality in laws. So all these attributes make Iceland one of the safest countries in the world. Number two, New Zealand is another safest country with the lowest crime rate, especially violent crime. Its score slightly decreased due to the terrorist attack on two mosques in Christchurch, particularly in March 2019. In a peaceful environment, police personnel don't carry firearms. Number three, Portugal. In 2014, Portugal was the 18th safest country in the world. However, it has earned the place in the top 5 safest countries due to the various reasons. For example, the unemployment rate has been decreased significantly from 17% to 7% due to its economic uh, resurgence. Number 4, Austria. Austria is another safe country in which serious crime are uncommon. However, tourists and local inhabitants both are not safe from pickpockets and purse snatchers. Number 5, Denmark. Global Peace Index ranks Denmark as the fifth safest country in the world. The country has good employment, well-educated people, low corruption, and skilled security forces. Health facilities are common, so people are spending comfortable lives in the country. Thank you for listening and watching this video.